Hi everyone, I'm Joe Santacroce and welcome back to our Career Connection series. Today we're furthering the conversation around networking and talking specifically about LinkedIn. Our first guest is Kristen Eichholz. Kristen received her master's degree in student affairs and higher education from Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Since graduating, she has committed 16 years to the profession of career development, currently serving as the Executive Director of Career Development Center at DeSales University. She not only leads a team of professional career coaches and student ambassadors, but also brings a vision of personal and organizational growth to the DeSales community. Kristen, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Hi, Joe. Thank you so much for having me. This is exciting.
Absolutely, sure is, and I'm glad you're here. We're talking about LinkedIn today. So I have a couple questions for you. The first one, students continually ask me, should I be on LinkedIn? If a student is not on LinkedIn, should they?
I absolutely say yes. And what I'm telling students now is think of it as part of the job search correspondence package. You know, we traditionally send out a resume, a cover letter, reference page. Now LinkedIn is part of that. So it's reference page, it's cover letter, it's resume, and it's LinkedIn. As we're talking to employers about what are topics that you would like to come to our classes to speak about, what are the topics that you want students to know more about, 9.9 out of 10 every time it's LinkedIn. Can we talk about LinkedIn? So employers are saying it. Employers, when they are getting a resume from a student, one of the first things they're doing is they're going to LinkedIn to see if the student's on there. We're encouraging our students now on their resumes to not only put their email address, but to put their LinkedIn URL. So absolutely it is with the times, and it's where the employers are going to look at what students have been doing.
Excellent. Next question for you. So, let's say somebody is on LinkedIn. So beyond just making connections with others, what are some of the other benefits to being on the platform?
Sure. LinkedIn has become such a powerful tool to really promote your skill sets and your expertise. It allows for you to take that resume that we traditionally say should be one page to the next level. So those items that you can't express on a resume, you can definitely express on your LinkedIn page. And I always tell students that if you're someone that's into photography or graphic design, or you have something that is visual that you want to share, you can do that through your LinkedIn account. You can use LinkedIn to search for jobs, to search for internships. Employers are posting a lot of positions through LinkedIn because that's becoming a huge portal for them. So yes, it's a great connecting and networking piece. You can connect with your own alumni, which I think is fabulous through LinkedIn, but definitely to really enhance and promote what you can on your resume.
Excellent. Last question for you. What advice would you give to a student who's maybe just getting started on LinkedIn?
Sure. And there's a couple of things that I always say when you're just getting started is one, having a headshot, having a photo of yourself rather than just that blank silhouette. Really put your face out there, and it doesn't have to be going to a photographer and getting it professionally done, but something nice with a plain background where you're dressed appropriately. Having a powerful header and not just stating that I'm a student at Salem State University. You know, I'm a student that is a biology major seeking internships. You know, what is your goal? Because as employers are searching for you, they're going to be reading that, and they don't want to see that you're just a student and what your year is, because you're more than just that student. You're not more than a just. URLs. This is important, especially if you're going to share your URLs on social media or on your resume. LinkedIn creates their own for you that has all of these letters and numbers tacked on. You can actually edit your URL. So that way it's just, you can type in your name. So that way it's a much smaller, succinct URL to be sharing. And really having a bit of a bio about yourself, that profile. And what can help with this? Look at other people's LinkedIn pages. Look at your alum from Salem State and see what their LinkedIns look like. What are successful ones, and can you use them as models for yours? And last but not least, ask your Career Center for help. Just as you ask your Career Center to review your resume, to review your personal statements for graduate school, ask them to review your LinkedIn. It's now a part of that job search correspondence packet, like I said. So don't be afraid to ask for folks to review it for you.
Absolutely. Great advice. Kristen, thanks so much for taking a few minutes to talk with us today. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Yeah, of course. And maybe we'll have you as a future guest on a future episode.
If people want me back, I would love to be back.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot. Have a good rest of the day.
You too.
Thanks to Kristen for her time and her expertise today. We really appreciate that. Our next guest, we're going to bring in Allie Baldwin. Allie currently serves as Assistant Director of Career Services for Digital Student Engagement at Wheaton College. Prior to Wheaton, Allie worked in career services at the John F. Kennedy School of Government at Harvard University, Emerson College, Mount Ida College, and of course our very own Salem State University. She earned a Master of Education in Higher Education and Student Affairs from Salem State and a Bachelor of Arts in Human Development and Family Studies from the University of Connecticut. Allie, great to see you. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Excited.
Welcome back too. Welcome back too. You're still part of the Salem State family.
That's right. Vikings forever.
So we're talking today about LinkedIn. I have a couple questions for you. The first one is this. Students will kind of continually ask us, do I really need to be on LinkedIn? Do they need to be on LinkedIn?
Yes, absolutely. I know there's a lot of concern from some students who are like, oh, I don't know if it's really for people in my major or discipline, but there are so many tools and exciting ways to use LinkedIn that it would be, really beneficial for students to take advantage.
Absolutely. So beyond kind of making connections, right? Because I think that's where everyone goes to with LinkedIn. What are some of the other advantages to really being on that platform?
Yeah, I think that there are so many different pieces that can be used creatively that you just have to do a little creative thinking first, and then it's a great tool to not just connect with people like you mentioned, but also do research about different career paths, do, some research about informational interview connections, and also, of course, like following different hashtags in your area of interest. I think there are so many ways to use it to really build your base of knowledge about the field you're interested in. I could go on all day. I should stop myself here. But I think there are so many great ways to use it that it can only be beneficial to just get on there and start trying things out. Yeah, I'll stop.
Last question for you. What advice would you provide to a student who's maybe just getting started on the LinkedIn platform?
Yeah, I think my advice is two-part. I think the first part is don't get overwhelmed. I think there's so much there. It all isn't always intuitive. So just trying to take your time and get the essential pieces in there first. And then you can sort of start to build that up over time. So I think it's kind of getting those first few pieces, your headline, your photo, because it's going to, make you more approachable. And then that education and experience. And then you can always build up the rest of that and take advantage of the other features in more depth in the future. So just getting started and not being overwhelmed.
Good advice. Good advice. Allie, always a pleasure. Great to see you again. I don't say this enough, but your contributions to our office and of course the greater community were certainly are certainly still being shared with students. Let's put it that way. So we really appreciate that, and thank you again for taking a few minutes to talk with us today.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for welcoming me back to the community.
Of course, and who knows, maybe we'll have you as a future guest on a future episode.
Hope you will.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Have a good rest of the day.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you. Thanks to Allie for her time and her expertise today. If you'd like to further the conversation around LinkedIn, please go ahead and do so through an appointment. You can schedule a number of ways. First, via your Handshake account by calling us at 978-542-6406 or by emailing us at career@salemstate.edu. Also, don't forget, check out our resources on our website, salemstate.edu/careers. We'll see you next time.